Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be absolutely incredible, astonishing, and amazing. And the only way you're going to fully grasp this is if you go all the way back on my previous other channel titled Eternal Flame of Christ, all the way back to March of 2020 when I first began teaching on this. And the reason this says Wormwood and Apophis, Satan's lies, because I am the Bible scholar that retranslated the mistranslation of Wormwood that has now been accepted by all Bible scholars and Christian leaders worldwide. Wormwood was mistranslated. It was a mistranslation. And you can go back to this video also from March of 2020. Wormwood was mistranslated. You can first find wormwood spoken of in Jeremiah, the Old Testament, Jeremiah 23, verse 15, where it talks about, and understand that this chapter, this entire chapter, is dealing with false prophets, is addressing false prophets. That is what Jeremiah 23 is entirely dedicated to, dealing with the false prophets of any generation. And that is exactly what we see in these days with the false prophets. And it clearly states that I will feed them with wormwood. That is where you first see wormwood. The important takeaway from that is wormwood was mistranslated. The Hebrew translation was le'ana, and the translation actually means to bring upon a bitter curse. That is what the original translation that I, the true Bible scholar and true prophet of God, has correctly translated this into meaning. That the word actually meant to be cursed with a bitter curse, and that the curse would be upon the waters. And the waters are not literal waters. This was another mistranslation that I also correctly translated. The correct translation of the waters are the peoples, nations, multitudes, and tongues, in accordance with Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. That is the correct translation of wormwood, to bring upon a bitter curse upon the peoples, nations, multitudes, and tongues, to poison the peoples, nations, multitudes, and tongues. And to understand it fully, the full understanding of wormwood, it was later translated when you go to Revelation chapter 8, verse 10. It was again translated into aster, which means asteroid. So you have multiple translations. That is the omnipotence of God, because God is the Word and the Word is with him. God moves through the Word, through time, and through translation. He moves like none other can move. There is no thing created except by him in accordance with the Word, because he is the Word. So it is the poisoning of the waters, and it is also associated to an asteroid. Understand that. And the recent developments, the very most recent developments, we have a brand new variant, ladies and gentlemen. We have a brand new variant, the pyrola. They're calling it the pyrola panic. This is the pyrola panic that has just been rolled out August the 30th of 2023. And this is the channel of Dr. John Campbell, the only doctor that they cannot and have not removed from YouTube for misinformation, because he gives the facts, ladies and gentlemen. He gives the facts just as I do, and that is why they cannot remove me, because I produce only facts, just as Mr. John Campbell. You don't understand that me and Mr. Campbell have been communicating since the very beginning of this. We've been communicating since January, February, and March of 2020. And we're going to learn even more, ladies and gentlemen. Pay close attention. I wrote this incredible book that is titled Wormwood, Understanding How It Is Currently Impacting Earth. And I wrote it in this book. The Mark of the Beast is already in your hand. Your eyes see it without seeing it. I wrote it all in this book about how the waters are being poisoned. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see the syringe and how the waters, the people are being poisoned? This is in very ancient times. The god of terror. But more importantly, is known as the god of panic. This is what we're seeing with this pandemic. Deimos is the god of panic. March the 1st, 2020, pandemic. March the 1st of 2020 that I have written in these books, in this book, and see what the name of it is. It's called the pyrola panic. The pyrola panic, very specifically. This is in very ancient times. The god of terror. But more importantly, is known as the god of panic. This is what we're seeing with this pandemic. Deimos is the god of panic. Demic comes from the word demos, and Deimos was the god, the false pagan god of panic, all the way back March of 2020, ladies and gentlemen, March 1st. In the very beginning, I was revealing these incredible things. Now we're going to find out what pyrola is. Remember, they've named this the pyrola panic. Pyrola is an asteroid, ladies and gentlemen. Pyrola is an asteroid. We would be looking for something associated to an asteroid that would poison the waters, the peoples, nations, multitudes, and tongues. Revelation chapter 17, verse 15.
Well, welcome to today's talk. It's Wednesday, the 30th of August. Now, yesterday we saw President Biden announcing a huge new vaccine rollout, or he's going to attempt a huge new vaccine rollout for everyone over the age of 6 months in the United States. And today we see a similar level of panic from the UK government. Now, this is over the so-called pyrola variant, the B286. Now, we do know that pyrola, for some bizarre reason, is named after an asteroid that hangs out near Jupiter. And this asteroid, as I understand cosmology or solar systemology or whatever it is, has zero probability of colliding with Earth.
Now, I want you to notice, he understands this because Dr. Campbell communicates with me, just like many other doctors, Dr. Artist and many other doctors. I don't go around tooting my own horn about all the ones that I communicate with. But Dr. Campbell knows the things that I know because I communicate with him. August the 30th of 2023, the pyrola panic and how it's associated to an asteroid. Wormwood, understanding how it is currently impacting Earth. How an asteroid, something associated with an asteroid, would poison the waters. the peoples, nations, multitudes, and tongues. Ladies and gentlemen, if this was any of the Trump prophets, there wouldn't be enough of hallelujahs in the land. They would be all up on stage, twirling around, speaking in fake tongues as they held up their Gandalf staves. They would be crying out hallelujahs for days, and they would be declaring that the world should praise and worship them. They are fools, and I am the only one that can unequivocally prove.
Well, welcome to today's talk. It's Wednesday, the 30th of August. Now, yesterday we saw President Biden announcing a huge new vaccine rollout, or he's going to attempt a huge new vaccine rollout for everyone over the age of 6 months in the United States. And today we see a similar level of panic from the UK government. Now, this is over the so-called pyrola variant, the B286. Now, we do note that pyrola, for some bizarre reason, is named after an asteroid that hangs out near Jupiter. And this asteroid, as I understand cosmology or solar systemology or whatever it is, has zero probability of colliding with Earth. Now,
Understand that, ladies and gentlemen. It has zero probability of colliding with Earth, but you have to understand this. The pyrola panic, you have to understand how it is currently impacting Earth. Understand that impacting has two separate definitions. Two separate definitions. You have to understand how it is currently impacting Earth, how the effects of something can impact something.
well, welcome.
Pyrola, the asteroid.
This is in very ancient times, the god of terror. But more importantly, is known as the god of panic. This is what we're seeing with this pandemic. Demos is the god of panic.
None of these false prophets. And here's the funny part, ladies and gentlemen. I've already shown in a previous video where Robin Bullock had tried to curse my books. He said, your books will be like toilet paper and will be worth nothing. That actually caused my book sales to skyrocket, ladies and gentlemen. That caused a spike in my book sales. And then what we saw after that was Timothy Dixon. Timothy Dixon came out in a video and he was literally in tears. He was in tears, claiming, oh, you can't copyright the prophecies that you have given. You have to share the prophecies and let us be prophets too. You can't be the only prophet. As he cried, he said, Mama, Mommy, oh, Kenneth won't let me be a prophet too, Mommy. Mommy, Kenneth won't let me be a prophet. He won't share his prophecies, Mommy. He took my channel down. Robin Bullock and Timothy Dixon, Tom Horn, all these fraudulent, filthy lucres. And Jonathan Cahn's going to be next. And it looks like Tom Hughes will be following that. Only one, ladies and gentlemen, knew the things. The comet, the asteroid, and the panic. There was only one, ladies and gentlemen, and I also am already down in the history books as retranslating the mistranslation of Wormwood and many other things I have discovered. I'm also the one that's in the history books as finding phone, the fact that phone was taken out of the Bible. And they changed the word phone. They changed that. They changed it into voice. The word phone used to be in scriptures. I found that. I discovered that. I'm in the history books. None of these false Trump prophets will be known in the history books as true prophets. They will be known as the false prophets. And understand what the Bible has shown in history. What happens to all the false prophets in a given generation, ladies and gentlemen? You can find that What happened to the false prophets that challenged Elijah? There were over 800 of them. What happened to the ones that spoke against, that gave prophecies against Micaiah? There were over 400 of those. All you have to do is read and remember what Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9 says. There is no new thing under the sun. What has been will be again. Know what happens to the false prophets of any given generation. They will want to be martyrs, but they will not be known as martyrs. They will be known as the false prophets who got what they deserved, just like the false prophets of old. Y'all be sure to share this, ladies and gentlemen. This is an absolute prophecy fulfilled. Unequivocally, prophecy fulfilled. Without a doubt. They have named this new variant after an asteroid and the panic. Understand that. Wormwood, understanding how it is currently impacting Earth. God bless.